Three Men on a Boat has been, up to now, a quintessentially English affair. But this year, we're heading to my home turf, which is, of course, Ireland.
Gentlemen, I promise you a boat. Will this do?
It's gorgeous. Do you know what? I feel we're on the eve of an adventure.
It's going to be an incredible time.
You don't actually have a steering wheel or anything like that? No.
Just a tiller.
That you've been leaning against.
I've been leaning against that.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's why we keep going towards Belfast.
We're going to do something that's not normally done. We're going to go straight through the middle of Ireland by canal and river.
Into a country of noisy conviviality.
Top of the morning to
Fantastic characters.
A place of warm, welcoming hospitality, especially for the returning hero.
And this is a programme that's definitely going to the dogs.
En route, of course, we'll end up rowing in curraghs and sailing in hookers. And it'll all be fine as long as Griff can get them all started. Our aim is to end up eventually at the largest Irish Poetry Festival in Limerick. And my hope is just, well, that the other two don't embarrass me.
Have you noticed there's no boats on the river? Have you noticed that? That's because Irish people aren't stupid enough to take boating holidays in mid-October.
In the past, we've raced in Griff's yacht and lost.
And we've motored in Rory's boat and nearly died. Twice.
But today we're coming into Ireland's largest port and, coincidentally, my hometown of Dublin, a place where I've still got all sorts of old friends.
I'm bringing you to Ireland. It's not my Ireland we're going to, we're doing a different boat trip, but nonetheless, I'm not bringing you anywhere near anyone I value or hold dear to me, because I think you're just going to make
Give
me
us a
look
quick few instructions then. And how do you want us to behave, Dara? We don't want to let you down.
Just be yourselves, but less so, and be engaging and polite. Don't do the accent.
Now, Griff, don't say top of the morning to
Don't
anybody.
do anything like that.
Will we observe you getting more and more Irish?
You will notice my accent getting richer and thicker and more mellifluous the longer I'm here.
If you
Terry
start
Wogan type voice that I've been putting on for the last while. I'm going to drop that off me like a heavy coat.
Dublin's first.
Don't
He
even
started.
start.
He started.
We're 10 seconds
We're
into
not
it.
even in.
We haven't arrived. We're not technically on land.
I first set my eyes.
This is a bad idea.
Dara gets to park the boat. Perhaps he has a residence parking permit. Is it Dara's birthday?
This is like that episode
Right.
of Jim Will Fix It.
There we go.
Push it on now.
So we ram it up tight.
Well done,
Thank you very
Dara
much.
O'Brien. Thank you very much.
Look at that!
I know. It's perfect, isn't it?
Beautifully parked!
Thank you very much.
Very good, yeah.
We're going to go into town and we're going to find our proper boat for the trip. But first, I want you to meet somebody. I said there was cargo. This is our cargo. Liam, how are you? Pleasure to see you. Liam trains greyhound, and trains among them trains a greyhound that I and some friends own. This is Snip. Snip Nua is my dog, my and some friends' dog, and we're going to bring her to Mullingar because she's going to be racing in Mullingar.
So
joining
she is
us
coming on the
trip,
boats
yeah.
with us.
Yes, she is, yeah.
It's good stuff though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good
Fantastic.
Irish greeting. His groom arrives with his dog for him.
From the port, it's a short hop to the centre of Dublin to get to the Grand Canal, where we'll find our next boat.
Welcome to Dublin.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
My wife said to me,
Come here.
she said, do you want your sunglasses?
And you said no.
I said, no, I'm going to Dublin. I've never seen it like this before. It's gorgeous. It's so nice. It's like being in England, isn't it?
Don't even try that stuff. Don't even start that nonsense, okay? This is the Sean O'Casey Bridge.
Teach us in Irish. What's a river in Irish?
Awan.
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 So very similar to Avon, which is the Old English and the Welsh.
Really?
Afon.
Do you not want to know, like, hello and
How do you say hello in Irish?
Giarit?
Say that again.
Giarit.
Giarit.
No, don't say it like that. That's wrong.
What I've arranged is a barge with the not very romantic name 45M. Built in the 1940s, it's the only original working barge left in Ireland.
Now, this is the boat you've organised.
Yes, I thought, you know, we've had enough of pretty boats.
This is very functional.
Yeah, to be honest, it looked different in the brochure.
And when I say original, that's everything including the engine and the bargeman Andy, who's here to help us get started.
How are you?
I'm Rory.
Yep.
This is my wife, Griff. Dara, you know.
I'm his eldest. How are you? How's yourself? Now, Snip.
This is a fine boat. Come on board. We've got a dog.
The first task is actually to get her started. No easy task, apparently, which is why we volunteer Griff.
He's the sailor.
You're the sailor.
I've been
You're going to
designated.
start this engine.
I'm going to help you start. Now you're going to show me.
Yes, I'm going down.
Right.
We're not oily dirty.
We'll go to the non-oily, dirty end.
We're up the front of the boat.
All right, it'll be the pleasure of getting down there first.
Okay. Good. Get down. Hey. What sort of engine is this? When was
A
this built?
Bollinger, that's a Bollinger, only 15 horsepower engine.
Are you telling me that you'd sooner watch Ireland play Italy than my dog run?
Yeah.
The race lasts 30 seconds. Can we take that
Well, I
time
think
out? of your
Ireland
head?
versus Italy is going to last 30
It's
seconds.
not. We are going to. Yeah.
Now,
That's gone out. Jesus. So, when it's hot, turn the flywheel. That injects the fuel. What ignites the fuel?
the heat.
The heat ignites it. So when it goes in, it just goes. Like when you.
Griff is starting the engine. Griff has now got into the... I'm on a boat, I've got to start the engine.
Oh, he's getting all tense and excited, is he?
There's no reverse.
Oh, no reverse. no.
There's no braking mechanism in this engine at all.
Just what you say, straightforward.
Okay, so we're talking
No.
real simplicity here. Okay.
I'm just happy just to relax now, to be honest. This isn't going to be as fast a trip as previous ones.
When we've opened up that governor, how fast is this canal boat going to go?
2 miles an hour.
2 miles an hour.
Maybe now, roughly.
So, I mean, basically, however fast we go, we can still overtake this barge by walking on the towpath.
Oh, Lord, yes. Oh, they'll be able to pass you, yeah. They'll be all able to pass you, yeah.
Now that it's blazing hot, in order to kick the engine into life, I need to swing the flywheel vigorously. And if it starts,
Okay.
that's if it starts, I need to jump out of the way before it takes my arm off.
I'm not strong enough.
What's a tree in Irish?
Crawn.
Prawn.
Crawn.
Prawn.
C-R-A-N-N. Crawn.
Prawn.
It's very, you don't like learn phrases, you just want to learn random
Well,
words.
yeah.
It's like a child learning.
Well, that's how you learn language, isn't it?
I can't do it.
Ball.
Leroy's.
Leroids.
Leroy's.
Leroids.
Leroy's. Leroy's.
Leroids. Leroids is a disease, isn't it?
No.
It's a glandular
no,
thing.
No,
Leroids.
it's not the one I'm saying.
Okay.
Having utterly failed to start the thing, I've called in some muscle.
This is like being at a fairground now with various people. We'll get other passers-by. I think it might be time to get 2 of those big boys that we had at the front of the boat cuddling a greyhound to come up here and have a go at this.
Luckily, our barge enthusiast starts it first time. Yeah, I loosened it up for it.
Oh my God, it gives off enough
Well, he's
smoke.
been doing that for what?
15 minutes a second.
15 minutes to achieve
Some sort of critical mass.
health hazard. And look at those poor people over there.
My God, that's the place to have a food fair, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel sorry
Poor
for
woman
them.
at the falafel
I
stand.
know, smoked falafel.
Yeah.
At curb crawler pace, it seems appropriate to let boat basher Rory take the helm, even if the barge does weigh 25 tons and has no reverse.
Lovely here. The wind blasting through my hair.
People are overtaking us on foot.
The Grand Canal will take us across Ireland to the Shannon River. From there we will head south down to Limerick. This is a route that the barge will have done hundreds of times in her lifetime, taking grain and turf into Dublin and Guinness back to Limerick. The barges and locks were built for each other, so there are literally inches to spare. So you wonder if it's wise that Rory is the one to take us into our first lock.
Dara! You're a legend. You're an absolute legend.
Safely in, the sluice gates are opened and the lock flooded to lift the boat to the next level of canal.
There's like a foot, if that, at the front, a foot at the back, and 6 inches either side, and Rory right in, like a rat of a drain. That's how well he did that. That's incredible. Stopping is just a case of tying it off, and then by the miracle of rope, the 25 tons of boat come grinding to a halt. And we have travelled 300 metres.
They said that Guinness delivered by barge tasted better since it had time to mature. Hopefully it'd have the same effect on us.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Round here with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's very stately progress, isn't it?
Through the many locks of Dublin, we were getting plenty of help. Well, Griff was.
And we have to make sure we shut these after we finish.
But tomorrow we'd be on our own, and we needed the correct equipment.
Dara,
Yeah.
gonna get us a couple of chairs.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Thank you. Before Dara gets back, I get my Irish accent out of the way. You're in a place like Dublin, and everyone talks in this beautiful accent, but it's infectious, and you want to talk like that all the time, you know. But we can't talk like that when Dara's here, because he hates it. He hates it. He'd actually smash my head in if he heard me talking like this. Yeah, I'll take him up.
Thank you. Cheers.
Dara, you're a far.
Mahanfar. Mahanfar means good man.
Mahanfar.
Mahanfar.
Mahanfar. Mahanfar.
Mahanfar. Joe, the simple addition of two stools and a pint, this boat is 115% better.
I love what you've done to it, Dara.
Thank you very
You've
much.
made it your own. Mahanfar.
Nice, very good. You're taking to the Irish.
Barge Meister Andy has served on the canals all his working life. Until 1961, when commercial traffic on the canal switched to the road.
45M would have done more trips, apart from the fact that she sank during a storm in 1948 and lay at the bottom of a lake until she was raised in the 1970s. In a way, that's what saved her, because all the other Guinness barges were converted into houseboats around this time.
As we come to the end of our first day, we've got one more lock to do. And not wanting to tempt fate and the drink-drive laws, Griff is at the helm.
Oh, Griff, please, come on.
Another one now.
Oh, Griff, you're kidding.
Thanks, Griff. Well done. Top work.
Magic, magic.
There's something about the length and dimensions into the lock that you do very well. It
It
comes
was
naturally.
more the fact that you bounced it off one wall and then it
Smacked into the other.
back into the other on the way in. You took both gates out.
Right, so we went like that, got ourselves in. It's a magnificent boat, but the engine is so dangerous. We're going to go and put up for the night, and Andy's going to go, and then I've sort of volunteered once again to be Mr. Boatman. And so quite clearly it's going to be down to me to get this thing working again in the morning. And I just think it's impossible. It's horribly dangerous, temperamental beast.
Having taken an entire day to get us out of the city centre, Dara is keen to take us straight back there and show us the bright lights. I think that means we're going to a pub. It should take us about 3 minutes.
The dog's with Andy. He said he'd look after the dog, all right?
All right, that's
Just
fine.
to salve anyone's conscience on that front.
Watch this. This is Dublin's new tram system.
Dublin's tram system is called Lewis. I mean, it's the Irish word for speed.
For speed.
Yes?
It's very smart.
I've actually never been on it.
Have you never been on it? So it's a bit of an experience for you then.
Dublin is famous worldwide for its writers. Shaw, Beckett, Wilde, in particular James Joyce, whose masterpiece Ulysses is based in the city. One place that features in the book is Dublin's oldest university, Trinity College. I myself went to university in the other university up the road, University College Dublin. But still, while Rory finds a pub, I take Griff into Trinity to show him the Dublin masterpiece that is the long room in the library.
The universities are actually roughly around about the same level academically. Trinity is the most famous one because it's by some distance the oldest and the most beautiful. But there isn't the same kudos or the same exclusivity or elitism in the Irish university system that there is in the English university system.
So some really famous sort of
Well, for
Irish...
example, we possibly over the course of a discussion that we'll have tonight and various chats that we're doing and events we're going to, we'll hear Joyce mentioned.
Yes.
Joyce went to my university, as did Flann O'Brien. He also went to UCD. But it's a much larger university. The National University of Ireland is much bigger. But this wasn't my university. I can't fault this for just the sheer beauty of the place. Like,
Terry Wogan, where did he go?
Terry, I don't. It's not really. Terry's academic history isn't a major issue of debate.
Is it not?
No, I don't think.
The celebration of great writers is a national passion. I mean, we arrived on a boat named after Swift. We've crossed bridges named after Beckett and Shaw. We think we've got the greatest writers in the world.
Sure, but I'd argue that the English still take the literary biscuit.
Luckily, another famous tradition in Trinity is that a student here may carry a sword. So to settle the argument, we're using an old-fashioned arbitration technique. That is, a duel at the Fencing Society.
And first up, some instruction in basic techniques.
Being a foot and a half higher than Griff may be of small advantage in this, in as much as I can just hold his head with my non-sword arm, fencing term, and then just jab him repeatedly.
Better, well done. Again, less like ballet, okay? You're being too bouncy. Forward, more aggressive.
Yeah.
Apparently, can't hit him in the groin.
No, sorry.
Oh, can I?
Well, have you seen the way the metal goes down?
Oh, yeah.
How's it going?
A few minutes of hastily arranged tuition, and we're not ready.
On guard.
But the crowds want some action, so it's England versus Ireland, round one of many.
Further back.
Ali.
Yes, first point to Dara. He'll need 4 more to win, though.
Attack. Fence.
What?
Attack off target.
Off target. I got him in the nuts. That's pretty phenomenally on target.
Shakespeare.
Yates.
Wordsworth.
Virginia Woolf.
That makes it 4 points all. The next one wins.
This is the final point, my friend.
All right. How are you feeling? All right, I'm exhausted. Exhausted, isn't it? Exhausted. Dara, I'm sweating like a pig inside my...
We can buy more time here if you want.
We just pretend for longer.
It's not like we're trash talking about wrestling or something.
No, it didn't. Here we go.
Okay,
Are you ready, gentlemen?
we're ready. Excellent. That was very good.
Yeah, but that was good. That
It was good. It was great. Yeah, it was fantastic.
was a little bit... What?
It was genuinely satisfying. There was bits where I skewered you, and I felt really happy inside.
Good. I was too balletic, apparently.
Really?
Nice to
That
know.
is not a complaint they made about me. At no stage did they say, Dara, you are too balletic. At no stage has anyone said, Dara, you are too
I
balletic.
thought you were very balletic.
Thank you.
I really did. I was impressed by how balletic you were.
Thank you very much. There's one bit that actually will stay with me, just where you open just some of your flank.
Really? When you
Groin.
thought.
And I went, I'm in there. Having worked up a thirst, we found Rory in one of Dublin's other landmarks, Keogh's pub.
Fencing, yeah, so that went okay today.
It's good. Exhausting. How many Irish whiskies have you had?
That's my first. With only a cold barge to return to, we were clearly here for the night. Next morning, while we slept off the night before, it was Griff versus the engine, round 2. And my money's on the engine.
It takes about 10 minutes for the engine to warm up, which is handy, because it's just about the same amount of time for me.
Oh dear. Sorry.
How's it going, Griff? Have you started the engine yet?
No, it's just heating up.
Nothing about this, Griff, inspires me with any confidence whatsoever. A very old rusty machine,
Yep.
a gas torch aimed at it. I've got my hand on a fuel valve.
Yeah.
And you are going to play with that wheel.
I know.
It's just,
Okay.
this could be the last 3 men ever.
How one? How two? How 1, 2, 3. Ha! Hi! Hut! 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 I can't get it going.
I've had a great idea. Let's ring the AA.
All right, okay.
I'll get on the blower.
Right, yeah, fine.
Here we are, you see? How are you?
We've got a bit of an engine problem. Are you any good with engines? Should push down now. Push down. No. Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Some here in the back of the van will be able to get that going for you.
Brilliant.
Do. There's your man.
Are we pleased to see you, Andy?
Andy's experienced hand once again got us going. But we knew we couldn't rely on him all the way to Limerick. Apart from this, however, we seem to be getting the hang of this very big barge. Even the weather didn't seem to dampen our spirits.
I think we're going to start sinking again.
Can you get through there? Over the rudder.
Very good. It's a doddle. The canal is so narrow, you can't steer it. It's perfect.
Lock after lock, mile after mile. Now we're getting somewhere.
I'll give you €5, Griff, if you shout up to Dara, top of the morning to you. Go on. Go on.
I don't mind, because he won't be able to hear us anyway. Top of the morning to you, Dara.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. That's very, very well worth money well spent.
But as we come to the end of day 2, in reality, we're not very far out of the city at all. Close enough, in fact, to go back in and settle a score.
When he was at university, Dara was a star debater at the Debating Society. And tonight, he's revisiting his youth and his lost hair. The motion is, has Ireland made a more significant cultural contribution to the world than England? And I have to speak against.
I spent most of my college career doing this. This is kind of where I started being a stand-up comedian. So this is weird. This is like being nostalgic for sometime in the early 90s.
He's coming back to a sort of an area with his own home audience, a sort of triumphant return to Dublin. Me, this is the first time I've ever done this. And I've got,
It is because Griff is famously unable to talk in public, as he will explain to you in a monologue.
OK, so welcome to tonight's debate on the motion that this House believes that Ireland has made a more significant cultural contribution to the world than England.
In these debates, two teams take it in turn to clash to persuade the audience that their side is the correct one. As guests, we'll be speaking last. Griff for England, but first, me on behalf of Ireland. Two names have dominated this debate. One of them spoken, one of them unspoken. The first is obviously Joyce. Joyce got mentioned repeatedly by everyone. And yes, nobody's ever read the book, right? This, incidentally, is what the book actually looks like, right? Just so you know, right? They are available in many shops. And then thought, I will go down the list of authors I find the first English author that I find and compare. Irritatingly for the English, it's Jordan with a whole new word, right? This is how no amount of Shakespeare will win for England. No amount of Dryden, no amount of Auden, no amount of Milton, nothing will top what I'm about. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, my holier-than-thou, I don't do one-night stands halo slipped as soon as I got Pete alone in that hotel bathroom in Brisbane. Fueled by my intense desire for him, I went much further and quite a bit lower. We're seeing where she's going with this, aren't we? I slipped off his towel, fell to my knees and gave him a... I wanted him so much that it was the one time when I thought, and it's an italicized indicating her internal monologue, at the one time when I thought, I don't care if I'm acting like a slag. She bangs out hundreds of these, ladies and gentlemen, and they single-handedly, like a black hole, devour all literature around them. You cannot claim the greatness of a nation while you have this as your number one top. This woman crushes me for sales, right? This is relatively ill-formed, ladies, and relatively shoddily put together, but it's incredibly shoddily put together. It's been a pleasure to talk to you again. We'll see you again. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Dara for his very fine speech and call on Mr. Griff Rhys Jones to close the debate.
as a Welshman, I'm going to interpose myself, as it were, between the English and the Irish. I was once in a programme called Mine or Mine, and I had to do it with a lot of Welsh actors. And one of them said to me, "It must have been terrible for you, Glenn Griff, growing up like that in Essex, in England. You must have experienced a lot of racial prejudice." And I said, well, to be honest, I didn't at all. I don't think that anybody noticed that I was Welsh at all. And he said, "That's exactly what I mean." So I'm very much aware that I know how you feel, Dara. I know how Irish people feel. But the truth is that we've heard a lot spoken here tonight, but it hasn't been in Irish. The crucial word in this debate is significant contribution. I think it's a wonderful thing to sit here and see everybody sitting in their dinner jackets. Those dinner jackets were invented in the 19th century by Prince Albert, who went to his tailor, Moss and Bruder, and he said, I wonder if you could invent for me a short, dark costume that would make me look a complete twit in the high street in the middle of the afternoon. And that is part of the English culture that we now find dominant even in this room. So I can only, as a Welshman, urge all of you Irish people on all sides of me to be realistic and admit that you are not the most powerful culture in the world. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Griff and all the speakers for the contribution, and I'm now going to put the motion to the House. All those in favour say aye. Aye! All those against say
Well, what did you expect in the middle of Dublin? The following morning, no one seemed keen to get the barge started.
The trouble with almost any boating holiday is, to begin with, you think that the bunks are uncomfortable and you never want to get into them. Then you get into them and you think, we could happily stay here until midday.
Yeah.
Where do we go today then?
Well, we move further west, but I'm saying that in a very aspirational way. I think serious questions have to be asked about whether this is the boat to do this on. It's very slow.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to start.
Yes. Well, I don't know that. I'm going to go. I'm determined to try and get this thing started. We no longer have Andy to help us. The question is, do I have the physical strength to do it?
I'm working on an exit strategy.
Okay.
At least the barge had good entertainment, in the form of Griff losing his temper in Griff versus the Engine 3.
That is enough of that.
At last, some proper transport. And to avoid loads more locks, we head north to the Royal Canal. This will take us all the way to Mullingar, where Snip will be running this evening at the dog track. The Royal Canal was built as competition to the Grand, but went bust the year it was opened due to the coming of the railway. As a consequence of this, there are no boats on it. So what I've arranged is a car with some, special powers.
Ready? Look. Oh. Hey!
Bravo!
Okay.
This is magic.
And that was the engine, I believe.
If Dara can figure out how to use them.
Now, is that going on behind me? Is that jet operating?
No, we're just drifting.
We are just drifting?
Yeah.
Okay, how does this work again? Oh, stop looking at me like that.
Are we nearly there yet?
We're almost at Mullingar. We're
This
almost
is on the other
really
side
sad.
of the bank.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's something happening.
Is something happening?
Yes, something happening, yeah.
We're turning. Okay, we're going a little closer to the trees than I initially expected. Even her up, straighten her up, straighten her up, straighten her up, straighten her, straighten her, straighten her.
What happened there? That was good, whatever it was.
All right.
Let's head for that bad weather up there.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10 of Irishness, is this above fencing or below fencing? What a great day. Let's get the car out, get the roof down.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Go on the
Let's
river.
all wear waterproof coats and get into a roofless car.
What happens if you don't turn the wheel?
I drive into the bank, like I'm about to do now.
No! 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 It's inherently dangerous! No!
Oh. I think I've got her under control again.
Now that's great. It's raining now.
Are you reading a book?
Well, we can't make conversation, can we?
No. There's no radio either.
I'll sing to you. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fella be a villain on his life?
After the initial excitement, it all became plain sailing. Or plain driving. Actually, what is this?
When James Bond gets into one of these cars, it must be something to do with the music starting. The romance, the speed, the power. the amazing flight that the car is capable of.
We don't make aspirational telly here, do we?
Dog loves it, man. Really loves it. Hello. Hello.
No wonder the dog's enjoying it. It's very, very relaxing, being the only vehicle. And soon Dara's previous night out in Dublin took its toll.
Before we arrive in Mullingar, a little stop off for some sightseeing at Fore Abbey, a place famed for its miraculous wonders. And it does seem like Griff's been at the guidebooks again.
Fore Abbey, founded 630 by St. Fechin. Do you know
Yeah,
Saint
St. Fechin is an unfortunate comedy name that he probably didn't anticipate. St. Fechin set up in, what, 630 or something?
630, yeah.
Nice spot,
Abbey.
isn't it?
It's great. They
It's
chose
lovely.
well, monks.
The monks were very good at things like that.
There are 7 wonders here. Can you name any of the wonders, Rory?
Yes, the tree that won't burn.
That's one.
The water that won't boil.
The water won't boil, that's 2.
The tree that won't stop burning.
No.
The river that runs uphill.
It has to be admitted that today the wonders look, well, less than wondrous. But what is remarkable is what people have done with them in the name of rampant Irish superstition, particularly this tree.
This is it.
We are obviously traditionally very superstitious people. And I'm presuming that the idea would that people would make wishes on this?
It's amazing, a lot of bit of tissue, but it's just sort of like, it's become like a litter tree.
I don't think that was really their aim.
This is, in fact, a very elaborate waste paper bin.
Yeah.
Socks, potato crisp packets. Somebody's left a bracelet down here. I can understand this, a nice bracelet. But to come down here and tie a bit of sort of old tissue.
But the tissue's there for illness, to
It's
save off
unsightly, I think.
Listen, can I just go on the record for one thing? Which is, I want to mock this. I want to mock this because I just find all the superstition stuff, and I find it really, or it's not my thing. I'm a skeptic and a rationalist. And all this. I want to mock this tree, but at the same time, I don't want to hear you two mocking it. I don't want you two coming over here.
I'm not going to mock it because...
But no, but this is the thing. I mean, am I having it both ways there by
yes,
saying...
you are, yes.
It's touching it. Like, I want to give out about the Catholic Church in Ireland, do all that usual stuff, but I don't want to invite you over here and have you do it. I'm jumping between the two.
Why don't we let you mock it on your own and we'll defend it?
Still you'll be there, you know. Hey, I'm so insane.
Hey, let's go to the next one.
We've left out.
OK, what have we got so far?
Ah, yes, Dara's found himself up to his neck in a great, deep, soggy Irish quandary.
It's beautiful countryside.
Well, it's beautiful countryside, but it's the same countryside as most countryside. It's just like being in England.
Maybe it's because Dara doesn't live in Ireland anymore. Perhaps he feels guilty and consequently is desperate to defend it at all costs.
Fore Abbey was pillaged 12 times by the Vikings, so the real miraculous wonder is that there's any of it still standing.
Would you have been a monk in that? Because you're all very intelligent men, both of you. And in those days, if you were a bit intelligent and you know, you weren't like to be, and neither, although you were related to the kings, the rest of us, we were probably just related to the sons of the soil, coming from ordinary working backgrounds. We might have passed our exams and gone into the monastery.
You'd have both become priests.
We'd have become monks.
I'd have been a bishop. You'd have been a superb priest. You'd have been one of the dirty, roistering priests. Look at the ruddy face on you. You're doing it perfect. Like, yeah.
Can you take your hat off in the monastery, brother?
I see. Actually, what's the etiquette about taking your hat off when the monastery has no roof? Surely that's not actually.
They didn't have a roof over this bit because this was the cloister, and the cloister was designed so that you had on the inside a window to heaven.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're here. I think shall we go and have a look at the nave?
No, shall we just go? Because it's all locked up. There's no roof. It's nice as drawing in, and we've got a greyhound race to go to.
Dara's obviously had enough of defending Ireland. Maybe he can get some respite at one of the quietest and most anonymous towns in Ireland, Mullingar, right in the centre of the country. Our arrival clearly caused a bit of a stir, but that was nothing compared to what was about to happen.
Yes!
Mullingar car park was full, so we left our car in a multi-storey pond and walked out into the high street to see what the town had to offer. What it had to offer was a food fair in the centre of town, so that's where we were heading. But the food fair seemed to be rather more elaborate than we'd been expecting.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you. Griff August. A little bit of Irish for you there. Fulcher means you're very welcome.
Fulcher.
Fulcher means you're welcome.
Dara was a much bigger star in Ireland than any of us had imagined. Even Dara, apparently.
What a coincidence that this just happened to be on when we were out in Mullingar.
It took a few moments for the penny to drop, but all of this was for us.
It's been laid on for Dara. Dara. Come in. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Dara Reid. Dara. Here he is. We brought him back to Mullingar. Here he is, Dara.
It's strange. Hello, how are you? How are you?
All for one.
Oh, hello.
All for one and one for all. Hello.
How pretty strange is that? How are you? How's your son? Hello. Hello. How are you? How's your son? How are you? Good to see you.
Dara, Rory and Griff, on behalf of the people of Mullingar, the county town of Westmeath, may I welcome you to Mullingar, or as we say in Irish, Céad Míle Fáilte.
Thank you very much, you're very kind. Thank you very much. You're very kind. Yeah, all right. I've been in Mullingar loads of times. This is the first time you've ever bothered to do this, right? In fact, if I came back next week, the band would be busy somewhere else. Don't let's pretend that this is the way we always treat people arriving in Mullingar, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Rory. From my heart, it's more than an Orvahan show. It's the Comedic here show in the Mullingar. It's a pleasure and a delight to be here. Thank you so much for coming out to welcome the lads here and to welcome me back to a town that I've been in many times and very. There's a camera behind me. Yeah, I'm aware of where the cameras are. I've done this before, but thanks very much for heckling me in the mid. That's more like the Mullingar I thought I'd get. Randomly shouting at me exactly in the crossover.
For us, this was very flattering and also acutely embarrassing. But actually, maybe just the town was in the mood to party, and today we were the excuse.
Like a politician. Hello, how are you? How are you?
Rory was impressed.
I think Mullingar is my favourite place in the world now.
Certainly across all of Ireland, Mullingar seemed to be the place to be. If you've ever wondered what Irish people mean when they talk about the crack, well, this is the crack.
Use your big professional!
I think so. Thank you very much for teaching me that.
And you can't fault them for their generosity either.
It's beetroot chutney.
Very good. I'm
Beetroot
not
chutney.
normally a beetroot person.
Well, come here. Can we tell you? It's
Go
a
on.
natural source of Viagra.
Is it?
Absolutely.
It's a natural source of Viagra.
I think we're supposed to say that.
Can you back that up with figures and proof
Absolutely.
or something
Yeah,
like that?
it's the number one food in the world. I mean, you don't want a cat.
I have two already. I'm fine.
You're sure?
I'm
You have a very bad attitude. A third one would be no problem.
It's enough that I have the two lads, as it is, making a mess without a tiny cat. A cat
Go
around.
on. Go on. Are you staying on the boat or are you staying in town tonight?
Okay, we're in town
We can
tonight.
deliver it to the dog track to you. Here, you like an apple as well.
Oh,
Have
choose an apple.
There you go now.
Out of every pocket and
There
stuff
you
going. Can I put that back in there? Some stuff. I'm up to here with beetroot. I couldn't eat it now. I'm
Well,
starving.
keep it for the
You
boat.
sure?
Yeah, keep it. You can give it to the cat. We have a jar of beetroot chutney for you somewhere. Yeah, we have. Yeah, here.
Do cats like chutney? Can I
They
feed
love,
them?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. We're doing a mixture for kitty cat at the moment. So there you are. With fish in it. So there you are.
I'm trying to dispel this myth that all we do in Ireland is talk, and this conversation we've had is going to do no good to us at all. That's all we do. Thank you very much.
All right.
The chutney, the cat, the apple, the beetroot,
No, the
and
cats.
the cats.
The
Yeah,
cats.
she's a two.
The cats, yeah.
You give me
Mammy
three.
and daughter. Okay, mammy and daughter. Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Slán.
One, two, three, toss! First. I said toss!
Toss!
Oh!
It's 7 in the evening at Mullingar Dog Track, and finally Snip's hour has arrived.
More like Snip's 30 seconds, actually. Snip's name, by the way, is a bit of an Irish in-joke. She's named after a famous commission to reduce public sector spending in a recession-hit country. She's not named after, my having the, snip.
Look at it, looking at the track. Just look, psyching herself out. She wants to just go on the track now.
She's all about the racing, this dog.
We're meeting up with Snip's trainer Liam to get her signed in and weighed and ready for the race.
Liam, how are you?
Ah, Rory. Good.
Good to see you, Liam. How are you?
Oh, Joe, Snip knew it.
This is the scales, has it?
You place it on that, hold her on that.
Right. That's it. She's in. Look at this. Is the room she's in now for the next.
Oh, we didn't bring
the
that
next
back.
hour and a half.
Go on, in there, girl. Bag.
Now, will she be happy in there now, or is she going to?
Oh yeah, they're used to that. Thanks, Nick.
In the UK, there are barely any dog tracks left, but in Ireland they've never been more popular, and they attract all sorts. There is a race every 15 minutes tonight, and Snip is running in the 4th, which gives us plenty of chances to have a flutter and get our eye in.
There are 2 ways to bet here. Either at the tote, where the odds are determined by the spread of the betting, or at the on-course bookies, who make up their own odds. Not a particularly difficult choice for me.
€20 on dog number 5 to win.
First race.
Yes, in the first race, yes.
Rory, on the other hand, thinks that this bookie is more likely to pick a winner. Good luck, mate.
What price number 3?
2 to 1.
2 to 1, that's a bit mean.
I give you 5 to 2, sir.
5 to 2, okay. 5 to 2, number 3.
So, in the first race, Rory's backed number 3, Dara's backed 6, and I've backed 5. And, 1, just in case. And, of course, my dog in yellow takes the early lead.
But not for long, as the dog I've backed in stripes overtakes.
But it's my number 3 who's had the bacon sandwiches and is nosing ahead on the last corner.
And where the heck has 5 gone?
What was it? Yes, see? Never mind. Well, that was number 5, and that's number 1. That's number 1 right at the end.
Rory's instincts are incredible tonight.
Yeah, let's go home now.
I bet on 2 dogs there. They came in last and second from last by a long way. Not just by a little bit, but by a long, long way.
But I do have a strategy to keep betting on the dog in the same trap and to keep losing.
20 on number 5 again. Oh, they bumped into each other again. Your lucky 3 is going to win again.
Yeah. Trap 3 is the lucky one tonight and not 5. I'm going to switch.
He's got him on the outside.
I don't believe it.
That 5 is good.
4's catching him.
Do you know what? We've not won anything. Snip knew an X. And we haven't won a race. You've won. I've won. You've won nothing, I've won nothing.
But maybe we're onto a winner with Snip, as her presence in Trap 3 for the next race has raised a few eyebrows with the bookies.
The big danger is Trap 3 tonight. Yes.
I think it's a bit of a ringer. It's been brought in here.
There are a couple of strange people in the area tonight. They're not regulars. And as a bookmaker, when we see strangers in the area, we always fear they're going to have a big punt.
Right. All right, I'll have €5 on Snip Nua.
Right.
To win this race.
Okay.
All right.
I'll give you 2 to 1.
Somehow, Griff, I don't think €5 is quite the big punt he was expecting.
Wait, he expects trouble from Trap 3. Trouble? What does he think? He's carrying a knife or something? What's he saying about my dog?
There are 3 strangers in town.
We're not strangers. You saw the welcome we got today. We're not regarded as strangers.
Slunk into town very quietly. In a very discreet car. Yeah. And just sort of have been hiding out in a hotel on their way here to try and run a dog very discreetly.
Now, what they say here about Snip Nua, right? Or they actually say, officially they say, improving puppy will be doing her best work late.
Yeah, that's
like
all
all
of
us.
us.
Yeah.
When they take them round,
Yeah.
Have you got any tips there? What should
Yeah,
we do?
look for the fidgety one or the one that has a poo.
Really? The one that has a poo lightens yourself up.
Just yourself up. It's calm. You know the way you're relaxed. You know you feel you can take on the world.
I always have a poo before I go chasing hares.
Absolutely.
For luck, Liam's granddaughter Deborah leads Snip out. But there's no news on the poo front.
Come on.
These last few moments going into the trap are crucial.
Here we go. You've been talking about this race all week, Snip. Come on. Bunny's on the way. Bunny's on the go.
I'm relying on this one now.
Come on, Snip. It's like a miracle at this thing. Fifth is a fantastic result at this level.
Thank you for that.
I have religiously bet on the favourite in every race. And then none of them have come in. Well, hey, no, I mean, congratulations. Well, that was good.
That was good. Yeah. Listen, she's working away. She's only a puppy. She's only a puppy.
Yeah.
She's had a very hectic few days.
One of those other dogs shouldered her out of the way.
There was a lot of bumping, and one of the nastier dogs did that to her, yeah. But she learned, you know. We can be philosophical about this, you know. Don't tear up this bloke. And do you know what? She was Even's favourite, because every agent here thought the BBC would have arranged it.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Next morning, we need to get to the Shannon at Athlone. The canal goes too far north from here, so we need to find another way.
Sunday morning in Mullingar is very different to Saturday night.
Yeah. This disused railway line was used for the film The Great Train Robbery. And it's here we arranged to meet someone we've actually met before.
Hi lads, how are you?
Louis!
Louis, how are you?
How are you doing in Mullingar? Didn't expect to see you three here. How are you?
Last time he was making potato cakes at the food fair. But for the last 15 years, architect Louis has been developing an ingenious and unusual transportation device called a draisine.
A draisine is basically like, I suppose a draisine is something like the cowboy movies, you know, the one up and down.
Yeah.
But in Germany and France and Sweden, they have, they use these sort of tracks for tourism. And you rent a draisine and you cycle it.
You have one, and you have one of these. You have
one of these.
Well, I've been building different prototypes,
yes.
but I have a new one now.
Will it take three of us?
Can we see it?
Of course you can.
Come on,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Draisines aren't particularly Irish. In fact, they're German in origin. And they're named after their inventor, Baron Karl Christian Ludwig Drais von Sauerbrunn, or Ronnie to his friends. The Germans used armoured ones to invade Poland.
By the way, this is how we grew up in Ireland. We always did all this kind of stuff. This is a very, very typical snapshot of life in Ireland, contemporary Ireland, yeah.
Typical Sunday afternoon.
This is how we always did it. Often I'd go to a match or, you know.
Let's get the draisine out.
Yes.
Pedal, gentlemen, pedal. Tell us about Athlone.
Athlone, right in the middle of the country. Athlone is where all the canals, like the canal we're on now, meet the Shannon. This is it. Boats, proper boats.
Lovely.
No more car boats, no more ancient boats, no more weird bicycles on trains. Proper boats.
Eventually, we get to Athlone, which is on the Shannon River and where we'll be picking up the next boat. The Shannon is Ireland's longest river, and this morning, probably its prettiest.
This is a beautiful morning in Athlone Marina.
It certainly is. Look at that. I couldn't wish if I only had my guitar here. The Amaryllis?
Is this it?
Is this the way to Amaryllis?
Pretty boat.
It is a pretty boat, isn't it?
Lovely.
The mast is broken though.
Sweet.
Good morning.
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 Hello.
Amaryllis is Reggie Goodbody's beloved boat. She's immaculately restored and looked after.
This is the Amaryllis.
This is the boat, yeah.
We can go all the way down to Limerick with this.
Right down the whole way.
A gaff rigger, I think.
She is, yeah. She's gaff.
Ah, we've lost him. We've lost him now.
Starting.
One man in a boat. Should we leave him to it, Dara?
Yeah.
I think that's our day is over now.
Oh, God, it's weird being back in an actual boat. Things are going to get a lot more, I don't know, normal now, I think.
What, the fact that Griff is doing all the work?
Yeah, and we're going to stand around.
Snide comments.
Yeah.
I remember in the previous series, if you stood holding a rope, Griff would leave you alone. So I'm going to stand here for the next 4 hours. Standing by, Griff. Well, Griff, what do you think of her?
Beautiful boat. Wonderfully made.
I'm holding this rope
He's
here.
ready to go. Rory's ready to go. He's handling ropes.
Sheets.
Arranging lanyards.
It's a complicated boat.
Is it?
It's a little bit more complicated than we're used to.
Reggie waves goodbye to us and possibly to his boat.
He's a very nervous man, that Reggie.
Well, he might.
Well, he is now.
Every reason to be worried if he saw the last programme. Have we got a foghorn?
Wow, this is really, really dense. Can you see the bridge? Can you see the bridge, Griff?
Somewhere up here is a lock.
Oh my God, it's like sailing into nothing.
No.
That's incredible.
We could be going anywhere.
There's literally nothing to see there.
As we enter the lock, the visibility isn't getting any better. If anything, it's getting worse.
That's it. There we go.
Griff, is it safe to proceed in this fog?
Well, not really. It's going to clear up, but only really complete idiots would go forward in these conditions. So we'll give it a whirl, shall we?
Did he say complete idiots?
He said only complete idiots would do this.
Here we go.
In the next programme, the fog lifts, and we descend into Europe's deepest lock.
This is like descending into hell. At least as far as I can remember, it's a bit like this.
Single-handedly, Dara continues to defend the Irish nation from bad jokes.
Nothing like a large paddy.
Oh, just stop now.
Worse accents.
We'll do a little bit of the Irish accent here, man.
Good man.
What now?
And terrible hairdos.
And by any boat we can get our hands on, we make our way to the first Limerick competition.
It's a young lady from Bod.
Griff is desperate to win.
So the journey continues. Don't miss the second part. It's here on New Year's Day at 9. Now, BBC Two's braced for an alternative review of the year. It's All Made Up by Miranda Hart and Friends, 2009 Unwrapped, next.